afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, State Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to a 1 versus 1 on Crossing in the Woods. In the north, it's Findeed, fighting for king and country, the Commonwealth. The 50th Infantry Division tasked with pushing back the Han here very slowly. In the south, it's MajorKusanagi, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. The 17th SS Panzergrenadier Division Götz von Berlichingen with Ostrom Doctrine versus Findeed's Royal Artillery Regiment. We got infantry and Panzergrenadier, well, Ostrom and Panzergrenadier bulletins, don't both, it's both to be slightly harder to hit, and machine gun bulletins there versus infantry and machine gun as well there for Findeed. So Ostrom allows Kusanagi to very swiftly get out on the field there, and of course hit the field with many more bodies. They can in cover sort of slow down the opponent more efficiently than Grenadiers, since they are that way a bit tricky to deal with. Of course, out of cover and on the attack, the Ostrom do tend to drop off very much, which rather reflects to an extent German doctrine, how it graded infantry. And basically it had a grade of infantry and unit basically right above, basically absolutely no good for combat. They can sort of they can fight, but it's only if they're in a sort of well prepared position. That is essentially they're in good cover. This unit can fight. And in that sense, that's usually how the Ostrom are graded as, like they can fight, but only in a really well prepared position. So, little fun fact there about doctrine and how the Germans graded infantry. Got first engagement in the section versus the Ostrom. The Ostrom quickly had to break off. I mean, Kusanagi there with Ostrom is going to get absolutely nowhere versus Findeed's stout British yeoman. Third Ostrom squad out here for Kusanagi. He quickly hits out on the field there. Bart way up here. University on the way there. He's going to have to take up fast. Of course, like to make a nice company so you can get Panzerfast in the Ostrom, since you basically need that or the infantry company. So that way you can sort of begin Panzerfasting those bloody little things. Ostrom about here, so trying to retreat here as Findeed closes ever in. Up north, bit of movement here. Almost got the victory point here as well. Bit of quad here so far. Light skirmishing here and there, but again, nothing big. For Kusanagi, obviously, it's got to be a bit more cautious, since again, he's dealing with Ostrom, not stormtroopers, or even regular grenadiers. So, any mistake here, of course, could easily win Findeed a very easy engagement. That's not usually what you're trying to do, since you don't win by letting the other guy win, sadly. Ostrom northwards here. And others falling back here as Findeed's moving in, and the situation are not good for the Ostrom. Pushing onwards here. Troops standing already here with the MD42, about to deal with the advancing Ostrom here. Back at base, we do have the take up there for Kusanagi, so triple Ostrom into one MD42. I mean, generally with Ostrom tactics, you do want Panzergrenadiers, of course some never do, but generally sort of have the Panzergrenadiers in order to do the actual attacking, and then you can have the Ostrom Marines to occupy positions in the wake of the advancing Panzergrenadiers. We'll of course have to see if this ends up with this between Kusanagi and Findeed, and if he actually ever goes for that, but it will be the optimal move. Ostrom towards the cuff point here, grabbing the point here as well. Bit of skirmishing here, and still lacking that light and mechanized company. Doesn't have any Panzerfast. He's quick occupying here. In this regard, he's probably doing the next best thing he can. If he's attacking, he's trying to infiltrate, he's trying to flank, go deep, see if he can't find a weak spot, and then occupy some really central positions. That way, disrupting Findeed's flow there, and that's so far. But he's actually with some degree of success managed there. So that's actually really good play there by MajorKusanagi, and I do feel that deserves some thumbs up, because a lot of players just try and keep attacking head on, hoping the opponent breaks and then push in, but instead Kusanagi looked for the path of least resistance and then stuck himself in there, creating the path of the most resistance for his enemy. So nice play there by MajorKusanagi. Nice play, and again, thumbs up. That's really sort of the stuff they want you to learn from as viewers who aren't quite as good at the game. Sometimes the best path is the path of least resistance. Look for it. Don't just try and shoot your opponent down. Anyways, he needs to get the take up faster. He needs to get up more Ostrom or something else. But there you go. Pioneers retreating, like to make a nice company going up. Meanwhile, he's just occupying the position. He's trying to just draw in Findeed into a battle of attrition. Doesn't necessarily fare him very well, because again, the Ostrom can in heavy cover trade pretty well with the opponent. Got both the section of people from Findeed trying to flank. Successfully got past the machine gun, leaving only the Ostrom how to deal with it. Squad he'll need to fall back soon. Like to make a nice company is going up. Machine gun there being routed. Ostrom flying away there. So he's pushing for the machine gun. He's ignoring the Ostrom. Slightly working out there for Kusanagi. Ostrom need to retreat. Section being routed here as well. Ultimately falling back. So I mean, he did some damage there, but ultimately I would say the lack of speed here for the Like to Make a Nice Company getting out, I think, hurt Kusanagi a bit. They had that one up fast and pushed for support fast to the front line. I think this could have been a lot more effective for Kusanagi, but there you go. Wasp out here for Findeed. Ostrom scored down. Not a big loss then. He can easily replace it. In fact, that's exactly what he does. Oberleutnant, we have lost the Ostrom. We will get more. I'm pretty sure we got some in back. So there we go. 2-2 almost done. Wasp moving up. You can see that Findeed taking advantage of the break in Kusanagi line to swiftly advance as far as possible. And you know, like we put upon him pressure, of course he does not expect what's about to hit him. The 2-2-2. Die leichte Panzerspähwagen, or light reconnaissance car, scout car, which was actually based on the civilian car design before the war. But there you go, he's going to take out the Wasp. That's going to turn the tables a bit here, Indeed, plus the sections here completely unarmed and unguarded. He doesn't have any ACs, he's got nothing in fact right now to stop the 2-2, so this is a potential big swing moment for Kusanagi. Again, Raj Findeed pushes him back, seizes all the resources as fast as possible. If Major Kusanagi now makes a really good push, this could prove hugely advantageous. Findeed here forced to go for the 6-pounder gun to try and stall this, at the same time rushing for this fuel point, hoping that Kusanagi's forces are preoccupied elsewhere so can't easily respond to this. Of course, he can send them 2-2, but ultimately he will have dispatched troops to sort of help secure the point. But so far, Kusanagi doesn't seem to care, using Ostrom to lay down sandbags here and there, machine gun setting up. So, reasonably swift advance here by Kusanagi. Findeed meanwhile rebuilding and preparing for the next big push. He's probably got 4 bolted sections. That's a lot of bolted sections. Machine gun reposition, also moving up behind the wreckage of the Universal Carrier. Fuel put on these lost. Nothing further back in the base. They can go for some Panzergrenadier now here to support the 17th SS. Composed primarily of ethnic Germans from Hungary, who actually didn't speak a lot of German. There we go, Panzergrenadiers on the way here, more sections moving up. Eastern fuel point there secured. 2-2, they almost got the point, seizing up here as well. Panzergrenadier halfway down there for Kusanagi for Findeed. What do we have here besides bowstring? Absolutely nothing. I mean, it could be, of course, he just wants to stay up for the Valentines, but again, running those out here versus Kusanagi. We'll have to see what it ends up with. Sappers on the way there for Findeed. Direct hit here on the 2-2 from the 6-pounder gun, piercing the armour very easily. Note the name comes from the fact they'd fired the shell that weighed 6 pounds. It was, you know, the British artillery system, really. They didn't go for caliber, they went for the weight of the shell. So a little fun fact there. But it was roughly 50-centimeters. We know that because the Americans copied it and they called it the M157mm anti-tank gun. So, fun fact there. Bit of quiet here. First Panzergrenadier squad out there from Major Kusanagi and the 17th SS. 2-6 another hit. Awesome. Quick through. Trying to flank up. We got Safran covering up the flank here in the east. Panzergrenadier swarming in here. That's probably the best job dealing with the section on its own. Easily routing in air with the Sturmgewehr 44. Sappers and pioneers and sections and also more clashing here. Some fun behind heavy cover. This one back due to the savage assault by the sappers. The sappers that pay a high price in blood for that point. In East machine gun moving up here, Panzer seizing the point. More sappers on the way there for Findeed. Probably just to get more assault troops in versus the Ostrom, or he might have other plans, more fiendish plans. 6-pounder gun, they're moving to a fight. That might be a misclick there for Findeed. Happens in time you order something out for some reason, you get some sort of, I don't know, I'd call it sticky lag or command stickiness either way for some reason. I know the unit actually picks up on the order and begins moving about. That happen to me all the time. It's either that or you order to attack the 2-2 and it follows up there naturally. Again, sometimes you don't realise it does that and you get annoyed and, you know, it's a bit of a mess. So it's hard to say. They almost lost the 6-pounder gun there. Either way, rather unfortunate for Findeed. Ultimately, I don't know what it was. Weird sticky command lag or just inattentiveness as he gave an attack order. Either way, bit of a nuisance there. And again, happens to most of us, if not all of us, one way or the other. Section versus the Panzergrenadiers, he needs to bait them into a better engagement range here with the Panzergrenadiers. If he tried to fight here, he'd lose out. If he can sort of either somehow get close to them, or he can sort of bait them into a better range, he can usually win that one. Usually one of the tricks of the Panzergrenadiers is understanding their effective ranges and how to engage with them most effectively, so that way you can deal the most damage while suffering the least. And usually a part of that is just learning how to flank. If you know how to flank, Panzergrenadiers can be really good. If you get more than one squad, then they're really, really good. Because that way you can quickly lay down some serious firepower on any enemy. We got the support called the guy from MajorKusanagi and the 17th SS, which had a Panzer Battalion. Most Panzer divisions did, but most Panzer divisions, Panzer Battalion, was basically just a battalion of Stugs. Usually Stug 4s were used for this purpose. Fun note. 6-pounder landing on and the 222. And the 17th SS was no different. Ooh, lost the 222, that's a bit awkward there. Might have been some weird pathing or something else, I don't know. Troops reinforcing, and there you go. Panzer moving in there, catching the section, almost wiping it out there. Nice little counter push there by MajorKusanagi. Mines up here, Findeed again playing aggressively. Both players here are experienced veterans who know when to push and such. They don't, allow their punching to gather their thoughts and go, oh well, it would be nice if the Germans didn't advance so far. I mean, both of these are aggressive players, and certainly for the German player, that's very fitting as the Germans were generally sort of very aggressive about things. They always look for openings, weak spots to exploit. Usually how they could, persevere in a lot of situations when things looked a bit worse. It's also why they were recently quite often surprised by the Allies during the fighting in Normandy, where a lot of the times the Germans were quite weak, and if the Allies had pushed ahead, they'd be overwhelmed, but for some reason the Allies just never did it. They just sat back and had a nice cup of tea, hot chocolate, or whiskey, and now. Packford in the way there, he's probably worried about armoured cars, or of course Valentine tanks. I mean, at this stage I think most German players are aware of the high possibility of Valentine tank from a British player. In particular, they see nothing else. Oh, it actually goes for Panzer Grenadiers. It's also got a lot of munitions, which is actually a byproduct usually of going for Ostrom. You end up with a lot of spare munitions. Usually you want to invest those into mines. Though so far, Kusanagi has not quite been as good into that part. Possibly saving it for Hammond Goering's little slush fund of munitions. Yeah. I mean, there's also the possibility, of course, it just, quickly adds Panzerschrecks, but again, if you go for Ostrom, you really want the Panzer Grenadiers to be doing the offensive carrying. Still, 2 Panzer Grenadier squads is a lot of anti-infantry firepower, which, if directed in the right spot, can absolutely wreck Findeed, since they can quickly tear apart infantry squads that work together. There we go, first Valentine tank out here, so far no Panzerschrecks, and Kusanagi is still very much short on telemines. Oh, of course, he, as a Blackwell forgot, he had this upon the corner because to go for a Panzer. I'm an idiot. Anyways, Panzer that were roamed in this case, they didn't quite handle it so well, like the other was close to by. Oh, Panzer one way, of course, is going to counter the Valentine tank up from Findeed. Of course, the question is Findeed, considering this possibility? He may not, but either way, he's going to be, forced to deal with it in a few moments. But there you go, Panzer passing up here. Not a bad idea at all there, because Kusanagi, in theory, can just damage the engine since the Panzer IV can quickly then follow up and deal with it. And so far, Findeed is, again, not quite considering that possibility. So it seems like there's an inkling of the idea sort of now forming in Findeed's mind as he moves up the 6-pounder gun just to cover the retreat path here of the Valentine tank, suddenly thinking, hang on, those Germans might have a tank out of their own, the cheeky bastards. I'm sure that's how Findeed talks. I know it. Actually, I don't. Panzer, they need to retreat by the way. I'm not entirely sure what happened there for Kusanagi. It would be a shame to lose a 340 manpower squad this early. Oh, scheiße. Full wipe there. Quite costly. You can get the Valentine tank. It's gonna easily, even itself out, but probably wasn't worth it. Oh wait, that's the Valentine down. That's the first armoured loss of the battle. One Valentine tank brewed up.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
6-pounder gun there, reeling himself. Oh, reckless movement here by Kusanagi with the Panzer IV. Anti-tank grenade, damaged engine. I mean, should probably be able to salvage it, but still, that's not optimal movement there by Kusanagi here. And Findeed immediately pops in a second Valentine. He's sensing an opportunity. He commits to it. He takes the risk. Figuring you can take out the Panzer IV, of course, it's going to be worth it. Of course, it will punish then Kusanagi for a rather ill-conceived move. But there you go, telemine hit. Valentine is in dire straits. That would be a... Oh, snap. He did lay down at least one telemine. Can he realise this? Can he take advantage of this? I don't think so. There's too many troops coming in there. So he's not going to be able to finish it off. But it does mean his Panzer IV is safe. Need to retreat the Panzer Grenadiers though, since losing to that fast would be absolutely Wahnsinn, madness. Back here, nothing further going on. At this stage, Kusanagi might want to consider some additional pioneers and maybe another Panzer Grenadier escort or officers in the worst case. They can also work reasonable as assault units, plus they have access to smoke and can call in artillery. Very handy unit, that one. And we do get the artillery field officer out here from Major Kusanagi. Panzer IV need repairs, pinback machine gun added, sehr good, sehr good. Valentine tank receiving repairs. What the hell happened to this thing? We hit on mine. Oh. You're still alive. Why do you sound disappointed? Well, I guess. And there's big engagement here. Also, there's the sections being outmaneuvered here. That's going to be a retreat there for Kusanagi. And of course, the artillery field officer can boost units nearby. And can also boost vehicles, which is actually also really good at times. They got a bit of efficiency. That way they fight even faster. They can really land some impressive hits in the opponent. We'll have to see maybe Kusanagi that makes use of it, but at least he's actually gone for the officer, which is more than what most players ever will do if they go for Ostrom. But there you go. Valentine tank give us the MG42. Ostrom against the section here by the munitions point on the west. Panzer IV good to go. And there you go, Panzer Grenadier on the move once more. Section about to get wiped out if he's not careful. Valentine's flipping westwards. Kusanagi needs more armor out to back things up. I know the Panzer IV bunch of stubs. But apparently he's just going to figure he's going to go straight for tier 4 on top of this. I imagine this is basically based on the fact that Findeed has gone for Valentine tanks. He's gone for 2 now, by the way, meaning... I mean, there's a possibility of just get swarmed by the Valentines, but then a Panzer IV can at least handle some of them, while then pushes for tier 4. Of course, it's not going to be without its risks there for Kusanagi. But if he can handle it, it's not going to be the end of the world. So it's going to be a bit tricky there, but it's doable. As long as Findeed, suddenly doesn't turn into an armoured genius. And there you go, Ostrom equipped with light machine guns, slowly but surely. Obviously, in the actual war, Ostrom would never been able, given MG42s unless like the situation required it, they just had nothing else. They're likely been equipped with MG34s if they were lucky, or likely light machine guns from captured stocks. It could have been Czechoslovakian light machine guns, Russian light machine guns, British, French, whatever. Like basically wherever they have from captured armies is more likely what the Ostrom would have been equipped with. And fun fact, the Waffen-SS at the start of the war actually had to make do with stuff like that. So for example, had a large amount of Czechoslovakian light machine guns. I wouldn't be surprised that Danish light machine guns. They certainly make use of Danish submachine guns, the MP34. Well, it wasn't technically Danish, but it was made in Denmark alongside the Austrian MP34. It's a little fun fact there about the Waffen-SS as well. But there you go, he's going for more pioneers now. That is good. Also in the section here. Vickers and Life indeed to help deal with Kusanagi's infantry in place. Bit of a... I'm not entirely sure how to describe that one. Slapdash. There you go, Panzerfaust and the Valentine over a good map control here from Kusanagi. Officer here dispatched violently by the sections as he rather on his own ran into a lot of resistance. Probably should be closer to the infantry and tanks, and again he can boost them. Most players tend to overlook that ability. Admittedly, they tend to overlook most abilities. Heavy Panzer Corps up there for Major Kusanagi. We've got Perimeter, what you will hear there, go direct hit on the Panzer IV from the 6-pounder gun, penetrating the Panzer IV's frontal armour. Second shot fired. Didn't quite go through, points in the east and the west being seized here. And we finally got taken there for Findeed, moving onwards to the company command post, as his opponents already hit the Heavy Panzer Corps. That's definitely quite impressive in some ways. So we'll have to see, of course, Kusanagi can then now land this into something more serious. One option, of course, would be the Panther, other would be the Sturmpanzer. So let's see what ends up with him. Major Kusanagi, Findeed dig in here on the ridge. Not a bad spot at all to dig into. And straight to the machine here. And Findeed here now going heavy on the mines. Grenade on the machine gun and lands an absolutely devastating hit. Very nice work there. Still, great job mining. S-mines went off somewhere, it sounded. Oh, snap. Section hit the S-mines and got annihilated. Actually, he's been laying down Some mines as well here and there. Now that's been a bit of a drop in the munitions still. Nice wipe there. So I wasn't able to grab the machine gun fully away there from Kusanagi, but Findeed, not from himself. Smoke's going off there to allow him to attack, though there's not much to attack with. And he might actually bed off using it to support the assault here. Push up here with the Ostrom. Nice infantry attack there. If you can sort of manage that one, as everything else happening in the west and the centre as well. So right now Kusanagi, I think, is actually in a bit of an exposed position. He's a high likelihood of just losing something because he's basically trying to do everything at once, which can be a bit risky there. Straight to the 6-pounder gun here, but having some good success in the east, centre, west. He's encountering more resistance than they probably had banked on here from Findeed and the 50th Infantry Division. Need to get that Panther out there because that'd be absolute shame to lose it. Panther's there on watch. Well, he can go for the Sturmpanzer roughly about now, but he calls being for the Panther to certainly lock off anything armor-wise here for Findeed. Close quarters, insane armor piercing runs versus the Valentine tank. That's very optimistic work there.
Supply line's been cut.
Back at base, nothing further happening for Findeed. Grenades have been researched. And we got the Pioneers there quickly into work on the Panzerkampfwagen 4. More mines from Findeed. Excellent work there. And we got a preparation for a big assault here. Kusanagi could try to dig in with some trenches, maybe some sandbags, hold off an assault there with the Ostrom. Or he could of course try and go on the offensive, but again, Ostrom are not exactly amazing offensive infantry. Even at high level, with light machine gun, they're sort of decent, but they're still hardly stormtroopers or panzer grenadiers. Attila called in about Findeed to break up Major Kusanagi's lines somewhere, or is it? I'm guessing it's over here. Yeah, I think so. There we go. Ostrom falling back here. Kusanagi realizing his defensive line here already rather poorly put together is just going to fall further apart there. Oh no. Kusanagi is accidentally building another heavy panzer corps. He must be feeling a bit distressed. He's trying to do too much and he's getting a bit scatterbrained. Either way, he accidentally built another heavy panzer corps thinking the first one isn't ready. I mean, the only mark of consolation is that the heavy panzer corps isn't particularly expensive, so it's not a huge loss, to be honest. Like 100 manpower and 15 fuels. I mean, it's nothing backbreaking. It's just, one of those oh no moments you have sometimes. Like the guy's doing everything right and then he still ends up somehow doing something a bit dumb out, No real fault. It's just a bit painful to look at. It happens to the best of us, but, it's still awkward. Oh, wait, hey, Pants got me. Just clearly realised that he just built an helmet for no point at all and just gets the Sturmpanzer, but... Poor Kusanagi. I feel for him. That is the Sturmpanzer 4 of shame. Anyway, it's Ostrom up against the Valentine tank and the 6-pounder gun, even trying to hammer away there at the Panther 4. Betty on that Valentine tank in the west. Ostrom moving up. Sturmpanzer 4 slowly approaching, being ready here. His op's going to try and just blast apart infantry there for Findeed and the support weapons. Well handled, Sturmpanzer is an excellent support tool. I have seen those claim that the Sturmpanzer 4 is actually bad, which it isn't. Even after the nerf, the Sturmpanzer is a more than formidable weapon that can well handle, turn things around. But there you go. Sturmpanzer fight there for Kusanagi. Back at base here for Findeed. No sign of armored tank destroyers. No artillery either. Western fuel pond is not really seeing any action whatsoever. Nothing at all. There's Kusanagi is seemingly declaring it terra incognita. Troops are healing, enforcing. Piedmont machine gun almost added to the Sturmpanzer 4 of shame. Taking versus Panzer Grenadiers. That's going to be a grenade. Then we got artillery cordon as well there. Oh, we caught artillery there. briefly before it's popping the grenade by Zect artillery. In the west, we got the officer with Ostrom support moving in. Needs to call in smoke artillery to flash that out. Okay, we got smoke there. Sturmpanzer getting blinded here by the airburst shells. And getting hit with the 6 pounder, gonna need to fall back. And Panzer forming in. This guy's going to try and pull off a flank here, but without any infantry support for the tank, there could be a bit risky there for Kusanagi. The 17th SS, mine goes off, he's killing Panzer Grenadiers. In the west, digging in once more, he's going to need armour support or something else to clear out that British remnant covering the fuel point itself. There we go, mine to cover the flank, but in this case, not going to start that Panzer IV. Shoots, misses the Valentine tank there, bit lucky there for Findeed. Still, nice flank there that does ultimately cause Findeed to fall back. 6 pounder gun number 2 out here. It's the first one about to get cleared out by those Jerry Panzer Grenadier bastards. Mine goes off with the Sturmpanzer, hit damaging the engine. Needs to get the Pioneers up there to swiftly cover things up. He's not far off from a Panther, whereas Findeed is going for Anvils. That probably means Churchill tanks. That's definitely require Panthers or possibly even Stoogs, since the Stoogs have good rate of fire, more importantly good penetration. Whereas the Panther, while have really good penetration, doesn't have quite the same rate of fire plus cost-wise. So you might actually just want to Stoogs that would deal with the Churchill tanks, since a pair of them is reasonably efficient and can quickly do damage to the Churchill tanks. We'll have to see what ends up with there. I mean, a Panther can work out, but it's not going to be wildly fast or efficient. Machine guns into the Ostrom with their own machine guns, some of them out in the open though. Churchill tank on the way there for Findeed. Kusanagi's Panther all flying out. You need to be careful though. Close to half health. Very close in fact. Heavy fighting here in the west. Machine gun quickly suppressing the advancing Ostrom. Officers they need to fall back as the section still remains inside the house. Churchill tank slowly approaching for Findeed and the 50th Infantry. Telemine style there, not a bad spot at all. Sturmpanzer rolling ahead. I'm not entirely sure what Kusanagi's doing here. Might be a misclick or something. It's just a weird pathing choice, which do happen. The double heavy panzer goes remain silent. Valentine push back. And then these Panzers are going to be moving up with their own. But straight into 2 sections, sadly. Although only one of them has got the cover bonus, the Panzers might have a chance at these versus one, but there go grenades off. Close one there. Not really, he needed more Panzer Grenadiers for that one to work. At least the officers back it up. But interesting enough, Kusanagi never really seems to use the officers in conjunction with a lot of other things. It just tends to very much work on its own. I think missing out some stuff there. Panzer a lot of damage. There you go, Taman goes off. Misses the... Oh, he got the Valentine. Need to keep blitzing though before the 6 pounder gun finishes off there. Churchill on the move there for Findeed, but that's a definite tactical win there for Kusanagi. But he's going to need a Panther there, or, double Stooks have a chance versus that Churchill tank. Oh, again, I would probably recommend double Stooks. Just better rate of fire overall. And again, you get 2 of them for the cost of 1 Panther, meaning you can get a lot of firepower going on a Churchill tank, quickly tipping away at itself. But Kusanagi is determined. He goes for the Panther. Panzerkampfwagen 5. Also, big thanks to Steel Sledge for donating and support the Propagandacast, allowing me to keep doing this day after day. So, big thanks to you, Steel Sledge. Very much part of my company here. Oh, Panzer needs to blitz, might get taken out here. Pioneers are getting damage there from the Churchill tank, and of course, the Panzer IV has a generally low chance of penetrating from the front there. Panther on the way, they're cutting down his anti-infantry ability, by the way, but then again, the way he's using it might not matter as much at this stage. Panther almost done, Panther needs to keep moving. And we got here sector artillery called in. Oh, perimeter overwatch. Hits the 6 pounder gun there. Panther 6 almost done. Panther almost done. Forced to retreat the Panzerjägers anyways. Rather ruining the entire idea there, what he was planning. And there you go, Panther done for Major Kusanagi on the 17th SS. Also moving up to Panzerfaust it, hoping to get off a damaged engine. Panther should penetrate, second Panzerfaust should do the trick, but he doesn't have the munitions for it. He popped up one too fast. Smoke screen going down, into the 6-pounder gun nearby troops. Perimeter watch power is still active. There you go, 6-pounder gun crew exterminated. And the west Findeed advances, in the east he holds. And with perimeter watch active, Kusanagi cannot easily advance through Findeed's territory. He's going to immediately find himself on the receiving end of a lot of British artillery. There you go, shot from the 6-pounder gun fails to penetrate here. There you go, penetrating hit, and this was exactly what Findeed was waiting for, popping an anti-tank grenade to damage the engine of the Panther. Nice work there by Findeed, nice patient play. Also moving up the eastern side here, Panzerfaust from the Churchill. Oh, it fudged. Scheiße. Still, Kusanagi is not giving a damn about the perimeter watch. He pushes through despite the sheer volume of artillery that Findeed is lobbing in his general direction. Although it has cost him one loss from the squad. Panther also moving west, getting fixed up, going straight for the machine gun. They're going to clear it out. Nice push there by Kusanagi. Catching Findeed off guard, though I don't think he grabbed the machine gun and turned against him right away. If he can actually kill it! There we go. Rather late to the party. Flank here by the second, the Panther can deal with that. Victory points wise, Kusanagi remains in the lead here versus Findeed. 6-pounder gun lands nicely on the Panzer IV. Section outflanking the machine gun here. Need to get that Panther IV out of there. Officer Panzerjäger nearby, Sturmpanzer coming up, need to cover that Panther IV. Scheiße, Kusanagi, Scheiße, Vorsicht! Britischer schwerer Panzer. Ach, Scheiße. Panther IV down there. Kusanagi extended without infantry support, always something you need to be careful about. Lost, I would say, an almost ace Panther IV, which is actually a huge blow there to Kusanagi. Because that was one of his better options versus the infantry, and of course other things, a bit versus the Churchill, not amazing, but not bad either, so rather bad extension there. Panther needs to get support as well there, and he needs to get rid of those 6-pounder guns, as those are very much giving him a bad time. And there you go, Sturmpanzer down as well. These are turning into dark times for Kusanagi, and the 17th SS Panther going for the flank, but once more he rushes in his tank there without infantry support. Meaning, for example, the anti-tank is immediately a massive threat, and he can't that way just follow up and destroy the Churchill, because he needs that 6-pounder gun dead before he can sort of safely pursue. So missed opportunity to say there. Findeed going for another Churchill tank. Kusanagi's going to eat stews, I think, at this stage. Another Panther up the sleeve, but the question is, can he get another Panther out in time to stop this massive mob of British steel that's about to hit him? Panther falling back. Also missed a section. Seizing the eastern nation front. Panther falling back here for some repairs. Closing in on Veterans U1. Officer machine gun Panther going to be advancing. Second Churchill tank on the stamina for Kusanagi. You've got the Panther going to gain the Churchill. Veteran 2 gain the Churchill tank. Shot fired, missed. Seizing points in the east, ground points in the centre. 6-pounder gun up to flank. He needs to get someone up to cover that flank. Officer nearby could probably help do it. As always, concentrated fire is a really good ability. I cannot stress that enough. Might have a chance of getting the church in particular to pop concentrated fire. Kusanagi, I know he can't hear me, but I'm hoping one day somehow my voice will be able to pass through time and space, and someone in the back of the head will somehow hear my voice and just press that bloody button. Machine gun team, they're wiped out here. Nice grenade for there, but Findeed. This Churchill tank failed to get rid of that one, or the other one there. Need to retreat the Panzer before they get annihilated. Looks like Kusanagi's going to try and stall for a second Panther here at this stage. Again, I would argue a parachute at this stage might be a bit better, even with all the anti-tank that's about. Need to get that machine gun recruit. I need to get the 6 gun trained on that Churchill tank fast, alongside the Panther. 75 points left here for Findeed, directly on the Churchill tank. Directed again. Findeed certainly needs to get a bit more aggressive though, to roll up his sleeves and, you know, get down to business to defeat the Hun. Anyways, Panther falling back there. Artillery being called in once more with Findeed to slow down Kusanagi's advances. Looks like Kusanagi's very much is aiming for the second Panther. Question, of course, can he do it with 2 Panthers? I mean, whatever sort of good early maneuvers he had seems to have been slightly forgotten here by Kusanagi. Maybe as a result of that shameful second heavy Panzer Corps. The very weight of the shame chaining him to less efficient tactics. I don't know. Findeed, they're committing to more sappers and possibly more mines, which isn't a bad idea at all. But yeah, Kusanagi here could have considered maybe an attack through here to get behind Findeed's lines here, go for a big assault here, but he's very much committing to a head-on assault here, which is going to be the least efficient because Findeed's got most of his guns trained in that direction. Kusanagi there going for the second Panther, the second Panzer Kampfwagen 5. Light flank here with the Panzer Eagers, but once more the flank lacks a bit of weight here versus Findeed. Bomb grenade here on the machine gun, hit some sappers as well. The Panzer Eagers could very well go down. We got artillery called in once more. This time though by Kusanagi's officer. Second Panther slowly approaching there, very slowly. Now, finally a bit more here, but again, the overall effort is rather watered down here by Kusanagi. Second Panther, though, is almost there. As Findeed extends a Churchill tank here, maybe were to rush it with 2 Panthers, he could have a chance here. Of course, need to keep the flank covered somewhat. But there you go, Churchill shoot is under fire here from Panthers, and the 6 gun Panther needs to fall back. That would be a huge loss here from now to lose that one. So this is close to virtually 2 here. 6 gun nearby. Almost got it. Need to be careful with the Panthers though. 4-6, 4-6. The Panthers, not Tiger Aces. Certainly not King Tigers. Six of 1 points left off. Indeed, he's holding the line as Kusanagi seems to attack with an ever-afraid line. Also, may need to fall back. I think Kusanagi right now needs to reorganize and replan his tactics, because right now he's seemingly just feeding Findeed. More pioneers on the way, both Panthers in dire repairs. So rather sticky situation here for Kusanagi and the 17th SS Panzergrenadier Götz von Berlichingen was actually supposed to be named Charlemagne in the first place, because the French Waffen-SS unit had claimed that name. They couldn't do it, so they went with someone else, in this case Götz von Berlichingen, a mercenary from the times of the Holy Roman Empire, who had a fondness for beating up people with a heavy crossbow, amongst other things. He also had a prosthetic hand, which he's obviously much more known for, as actually one of the better ones of that time. But he also, apparently, reading up with him, really liked beating people up with a heavy crossbow. Apparently they work really well as clubs, which is, you know, is nice and handy. Fixing up the Panther, though, very, 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 very close to virtually 2 there. In fact, that prosthetic hand was the insignia of the division, of the icon there. Panther fixed. He's got 1 victory point. Oh no. it's probably about the worst idea you could try, and they just sent a single Panther straight into, like, Findeed's absolute #1 firing point. I mean, that's about as silly as it can get. I mean, he might as well be attacking straight through a shooting range.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
But Kusanagi's... Oh, he's got at least a bit of a flank going on there, but even then, because of pushing the Panther needs to repair it, it just ends up a bit of a mess again. He's getting a lot of damage in the Churchill thanks to the Panzerjägers, which is nice. As long as they don't get murdered by the Churchills, which is what they're very quickly getting, happening here. Panther sent off along up again. A good flank here with the Panthers through here, I think, would have been much more effective for Kusanagi. And the same thing to this instead, the ultimate, the assault peters out, he kills it's not particularly done very efficiently. Watching one Panther, the other one standing close to the front and take hits there from the 6-pounder guns. There you go, running one section, but I don't think that's going to be enough to turn the tide against Findeed so far. Now we got a Panzerwehr to try and break up Findeed's defenses. Shots being fired here. Panther being fixed. Awesome, trying to flank about. Direct hits from the Panther. Oh, and the Panther there taking heavy damage. Trying to get out there, but again, he shouldn't be attacking head on like that. I mean, he does have great armor, but if you're getting shot at by so many sources, statistically, they're bound to, reasonably well penetrate, particularly when one of them, is higher veterancy there. So overall, Kusanagi's tactic at the late game seems to have completely fallen apart, as any guile, any maneuverability sort of vanishes and is substituted by sheer raw bloody mindedness, which is unsurprisingly not very effective. Churchill getting the ace level, Panther about to get knocked out, even though he's halfway from the ace level. He got one of the Churchills, but there you go, his anti-tank include. Completely knocks it out there. And with this, I would say Kusanagi's chances of winning this are incredibly slim. Grenade, they're almost taking out the 6-pounder gun crew, which is fighting under Kusanagi's command. Another Churchill on the way there for Findeed. Kusanagi at this stage might most be able to afford a Sturmgeschütz. 6-pounder come down. 18 kills there on the Churchill tank. Officer there getting blasted. He's popping everything except concentrated fire. Well, diversion is also pretty handy, but that one barely isn't used either. Panther off the Churchill, but I mean, it's all got a damage aimed, and the technique can fix it itself, so obviously that's going to get sorted. It's just an impressive village to have, really, in some ways. Stug on the way there for Kusanagi, getting the Sabs help as well there with the damaged Churchill, and there you go, engine fixed up. But at this stage, Kusanagi, I would say, has decisively lost the battle. And there you go, leaves the game. A loss here for the German army. The 17th SS was routed by the 50th Infantry in a brutal battle of attrition. Indeed, in the early game, Kusanagi, I would say, did well, but it's the mid to late game happening about there. Part of me feels like, confident. Rather forgot some of the primary good tactical elements he had to go in an early game that resulted in a weak late game as he just kept attacking head on. Didn't try to flank, and also would say rather make weaker use of his officer. Again, didn't use his coordination as part of an overall larger force and larger tactic. I think would have done much better there for Kusanagi. Findeed again struggled a bit in the early game, but was able to turn around and punish Kusanagi very consistently for his mistakes. Overall, I would say playing a very solid strategy with the Churchill tanks, which Kusanagi, largely, I think, failed to counter consistently. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. Hope it gave you ideas for matches. If it did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for a nice sunny episode. Bye.